Hello everyone, this is Fred DeBerg from Spotlight Dance Arts Online, and this is another episode of Fred Talk. Today, my guest is somebody that is just absolutely special to me. She is Adrienne Hart, and she is the founder of the Rhinestone Grannies. Adrienne, thank you so much for being here.
Well, I'm so happy to be here, Fred.
It's so much fun to talk to you. I just want people to get to know you and get to know how wonderfully special you are. You are one of the most exuberant people I've ever met, and it's just so fun to have you here. Listen, I wanted to ask you, how did you get the Rhinestone Grannies going? What happened?
Well, it started in a very funny way. When I was 50 years old, my mother said they're opening a line dance class near us in the senior center, and she said, come on, let's go. That's supposed to be the big range now. And I said, Mom, I'm 50 years old and I haven't danced since I was 15. I can't do that. She said, oh, come on. So she talked me into it. I went and I fell in love with it the very first day I was there. So I kept going and I thought, you know, I've always wanted to perform even as a child.
Oh, yeah.
And never got a chance to do it. And I thought, is it too late? No, maybe not. So I decided to get a group of the girls together that were good dancers, and within a year...
Were these the people at the line dance class?
Yes, well what happened is within a year I was teaching line dancing.
Oh.
So by then I had students, and so I picked up my best ones, and I said, come on, let's go entertain some people.
My goodness.
And that's how it started. And then I realized not only were we having fun, but the audience was having fun.
Absolutely.
You know, and it was so nice to see them smiling.
Now that is one of the things about your performances. It's absolutely amazing. I love how you get the audience going and they really enjoy you. How many performances would you say that you do in a year?
In a year?
Yeah.
Well, we used to average around 65 to 70 a year.
Wow.
And of course this year has been different.
Of course, of course.
We stopped in March.
Yeah, I know. Well, let me ask you this. What kind of places do you perform at?
Well, we do senior centers, we do retirement homes, we do private parties. We have done memorial services. We've done 3 of those.
Memorial services?
Yes, by request.
Oh my goodness.
2 of them were by request of the deceased before they died.
Oh wow.
And 1 was by request of a family member.
That is amazing. Now, obviously you can't miss the fact that she's very glitzy here. That top is amazing. Now, did you say that that's a top that your group wears?
Yes, this is what we call our traveling top when we're going to our performances. And it was made for all of us by one of our dancers, Charlene Marks. She's fantastic.
Yeah, Charlene is very talented. And both of you have taken tap, and you currently take tap here with me at the studio.
Yes, I do, and I enjoy every minute
Oh,
of it.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Well, yeah, I mean, Charlene is one of the most talented costumers.
Yes.
And I mean, you have such a variety of different dances that you do.
Yes.
You do seasonal performances?
Yes, we do everything. We do all of the holidays. We do specialty ones if somebody has a special request. We do Roaring 20s. We do 50s rock and roll. We do Latin. We do Irish. You name it, we do it.
That's
and if we
amazing.
haven't done it, I make one up and we practice and we do it.
Now, you also will take on famous celebrity characters.
Yes.
Okay, what's one of your favorites, or what celebrities do you?
Well, I do
like to
Liza
impersonate?
Minnelli.
Oh, that would be a good one.
I do Dolly Parton. I do Cher.
Oh, very good.
Mm-hmm. I think that's I have more, but at the top of my head,
off the top of your head. Yeah. Now, the other ladies, do they also do characters as well?
Some of them do. Yes, some of them do. Yeah,
Nice.
and we have a wonderful singer that is with us that sang with the Platters. He was an original member of the Platters.
And remind me of his name.
John James.
John James.
And that's not what he performed under as the Platters, but that's his real name. And he performs almost all of the shows with us now.
So
he still travels all over the world.
Oh, that's amazing. Now, let me ask you this. How long now has the, well, let's start with the line dancing. How long have you been teaching line dancing?
Over 25 years.
25 years.
I can't believe it, am I that old?
That's incredible. That's awesome. The other question is then, how long has the Rhinestone Grannies been in existence?
Rhinestone Grannies started a little over 20 years ago.
Wow.
And I'm the only original member left.
Oh, now that's interesting.
I started it, and I'm the only original member left at this time.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I love your energy on stage, your enthusiasm on stage. You're so encouraging to watch. It's so much fun. Now, I know that you have something in your history that was very challenging.
Yes.
That was agoraphobia, wasn't it?
Yes.
Tell me what that was. What happened with that?
Well, agoraphobia is really panic disorder, okay? And it's a fear of fear, okay? That you're going to panic, all right? And it started, I was 25 years old, and I had just delivered my first child.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't know for years later that it resulted from postpartum depression.
Oh.
But it's a very interesting story.
Well, that wasn't something known a lot about at that time.
No,
yeah.
no, it wasn't.
Yeah, wow.
And so I was totally afraid to be alone. I mean, it started with just little fears, and then it became bigger and bigger until I was almost totally housebound for nearly 20 years.
20 years.
Yes.
So, what was the change?
Well, it was God. And one day, I went to see a friend of mine's pastor, and I was very afraid to go. Very afraid to go. And she said, come on, I'll be with you. It was hard to get me out of the house, but I was so desperate, so desperate. So she took me to her church, and this was in Anaheim, and we were sitting in this huge auditorium, and there was nobody there but she and I. And so we were waiting till it was time for me to see the pastor. So we went, she walked me up there, and I spoke with him for about maybe 20 minutes. And I came back, and she came running up to me, and she says, Adrienne, she says, you'll never guess what happened after you left. And I said, what? She said, a woman walked up to me, and she said, I don't know where she came from, because there was nobody in there but us. She said, all of a sudden, there she was. And she said, God spoke to me, and he told me to tell your friend to read Psalm 34:4. She said, quick, let's open the Bible, see what it is. And it was, I sought the Lord, he heard me, and delivered me from all my fears. And I was in shock.
Wow.
Shock. So all the way home, on the ride home, I'm thinking, what is this? What happened? What is God telling me? And then I realized it was Ina. That was my friend, and I said, God wants to heal me. He just told me that. But he's telling me I can't do it on my own. I have to depend on him.
Oh, wow.
And that's when I started back to pray. And every little step I took, I said, God help me. I hadn't driven in 20 years. First thing I did was take out my DMV book and start reading it. My mom, who was visiting, said, what are you doing? I said, I'm going to drive again. And she just was like, and she had been praying for that.
Oh, that's incredible.
So within 6 months, I was working full time.
Praise God. Wow. Wow, wow.
Yeah, it is a wow.
That is incredible.
It's a wow from him. Yeah, I
Praise
still
God.
can't believe it sometimes. You know, I
Yeah.
tell my story, and sometimes it's hard to hold the tears back.
I bet. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. That's inspiring. The other thing I wanted to talk to you about is, well, you and I both know that your husband takes TAP with you.
Yes.
And we struggle through it, don't we, Michael? He's right over here. Well, let me ask you this. How did you guys meet?
Well, this is a funny story, too. We met actually in Santee, and it was a country western dance hall.
Fun.
And I was a recent widow, about a year, and a friend had talked me into going. She used to go there all the time, and it was a very nice place. No, you know, there was no fights, no nothing. People mostly drank water, okay? And so he was there, and he'd been going there, I guess, for quite a while. And I watched him dance, dancing, and I knew how to line dance, but I didn't know how to couples dance.
Oh.
So, and I saw he would dance with different girls, ladies, and I knew he wasn't with anybody in particular. And so one day I got the courage to go over and I said, would you show me how to do the two-step? And the look on his face was precious. I mean, he was like, and he said yes, and we've been dancing ever since.
That is awesome. So how long have you been married?
Going on 16 years.
16 years.
Mm-hmm.
You guys they are one of the most colorful and fun couples I've ever met. They are just so much fun. Adrienne, so your dancing really started later in life.
Yes.
That's amazing. Now, let me ask you this. What would you say to somebody that was, let's say 55 and older, and says, I'm just too old for this? What would you say to that?
Oh, no. You're never too old.
You're
never too old. And if you think that way, then you will make yourself old.
It's a process of the thought.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
You're as old as you think you are.
Exactly.
That is so true.
And it keeps you healthy.
Absolutely.
And if you don't like dancing, find some other exercise. Something, swimming, walking, playing volleyball,
right.
Whatever it is, make sure you move. That is the most important thing.
Well, it always reminds me, that saying where if you don't use it, you lose it.
Yeah.
You lose it.
Yes. We're worried about that right now because we've been
absolutely
so stopped
right.
from everything.
Right. Yeah, it's been crazy. COVID-19 has knocked us all for a loop, hasn't it?
Yes, it has.
It's amazing.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
And you've got to stay positive during this time.
You've got
It's
to.
been difficult.
You've got to. Adrienne, this has been absolutely wonderful talking to you.
Thank you.
You're so welcome, and I'm so glad to let people get to know you a little bit more. Your story is amazing. Rhinestone Grannies is absolutely fantastic. I hope it goes on for years and years to come. And by the way, everybody, make sure you book them when they're available. All right?
We have
how would they get in contact with you?
We have a website, but they can contact me through there's a phone number. You have a card, I believe, that will probably be on your screen. But you can contact me at 619-698-2961 to book a show. We also have a Rhinestone Grannies Facebook page as well as a website.
Fantastic.
And there's some dance lessons on there that I have taught from my living room while COVID has been going on.
Oh, great.
So you might want to take advantage of that as well.
That is wonderful. That is so good.
And I love dancing with Fred.
Shameless plug, I'll pay her later.
It's going to be over $20 this time.
Okay, good. So ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our episode of Fred Talk with Adrienne Hart. Guys, keep the arts alive. Make sure that we're focusing on the arts and the benefits that it gives to our community. Thank you so much. God bless.